these testimonial calls are about, mindset. They're about the business, because we know a lot of people that get onto these are looking at getting into the industry, and we got a lot of people that are looking into getting into Easy Pay. And then obviously we got a lot of people on here that are with Easy Pay. Okay, so one thing that I'm really proud of, and I make it really, really clear, is we're not the average company. Anybody can go out there and find a merchant sales company to go work with. Anybody can go out there and find a sales job. Anyone can go out there and just find a job. What Easy Pay is about, and what my real job is to help people grow and develop and to get to new levels in their life. Yes, merchant sales is an amazing vehicle to do that. It creates residual income. When you have time freedom, that opens up a heck of a lot of doors in your life. Okay. The money is the easy part. Easy Pay is about more than that. It's about mindset. It's about growing. It's about developing and getting better and having a circle of, we call it the circle of influence, right? A circle of people and associates that you see on a regular basis with, that you would talk with and associate with, that help you level up in your life. Okay. So the Thursday testimonial call is for people that are in the industry. It's for people that are looking at getting into the industry and looking into getting in with Easy Pay. And it's for people that are already with Easy Pay. But at the end of the day, it's about showing you guys what's possible and elevating in your own life. So tonight, we've got a great guest on. I've known him for, I believe, 6 or 7 years. We got Coach Dubb, Willie in the house. Willie, I'm going to move you over here and you can turn your camera on, but I've known Willie for a while. Willie coaches, let me move you over here. I got a lot of buttons going on. So Willie's very, very involved in youth sports. Okay. I know him from youth football. And for those of you that kind of know my story, Willie, if you want to turn your camera on, or we'll turn it on in a second. But for those of you that know my story, I'm from Seattle originally. I moved down here to Florida. This is Coach Dubb. What's up, Dubb?
What's up, Joey? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Doing good. So I moved down here from Seattle, and most people that are on here are from other places in the United States, and we've all heard like sports in South Florida is like the real deal. They're playing at another level in South Florida, and everybody has heard that before. But when I moved down here, Joey was, I think, 5 or 6 at the time when I met Coach Dubb, and we got into tackle football, like 5 or 6 years old. And I'll tell you right now, the first practice that I brought Joey to, it really hit me. And I'm like, holy shit, like we're actually playing football, right? These are 5, 6-year-old kids and we're actually playing football. And it definitely lived up to the expectation. Coach Dubb has been his coach every single year since. They've gone to 5 Super Bowls in a row. They won 3 out of those 5. So regardless of youth sports, running a business or a professional team, winning takes a certain mentality, and Coach Dubb brings that. Willie, thank you so much for being on here, brother. I'm glad to have you, man.
It's an honor to be here, Joey. Thank you for inviting me.
Yep. And I got to tell you, I was probably going to wait till the end on this, but Coach Dubb is one of the hardest working people I know. The amount of hours that he commits to his community and into youth sports. Right now, it's not even football season, and he's always plugged in doing something. Plus he has his own family, plus he's got his job, and he's making his living, and he's taking the time. Willie, I know you've been through, you're working a lot, and you made the time to be on here, man. I appreciate it. And I know you've got a lot of golden nuggets for people today. You ready?
I'm ready, Joey. Let's go.
All right, man. So right out of the gate, what are the 5 P's of life that you talk about with the kids?
5 P's of life. It's not a cliche. It's a mantra. It's well known by people that are into winning, people that are into progression. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. It's very simple. It talks about being a visionary. Talks about believing in yourself and just setting those goals. And looking at people that came before you and the things that they've accomplished, and just competing against yourself to be better today than you were yesterday. So proper preparation prevents poor performance. And that takes place way before you reach those accolades and you reach those levels. Every level you have to understand and have a plan of where you want to go and what you want to do. And you just got to do the things that it takes to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just sports, right? So all the people that there's people on this live, and obviously a bunch of people will watch the recording, but it can be sports, it can be your family life, it can be for us building our businesses, right? Going out there as independents, going out there and building our business. And I love it. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You got to go and you got to be prepared to get out there. I love that. So that would kind of be the focus here. I'm definitely going to be using that, Willie, in my business and in some meetings, the 5 Ps. So I'm going to knock down these questions here. And these are always my favorite because Willie has no idea what I'll ask, just like every other call. And he's just going to shoot from the hip. So right out of the gate. So what are some of the key traits that you look for in players? Because I know you've done some high school coaching, you do a lot of youth stuff, but like, what are the type of personalities that you think have the greatest impact, both for their self as individuals to grow in the season with you, but also to help the team grow? What are the characteristic traits and the personality traits that are going to, have the best odds of success for their self and for the team?
Well, fortunately, all honor given to God, I've been given the great ability to spot talent. Talent is more of an action mindset rather than a verbal mindset. So when I look at guys that, irregardless of their skill level, because skill is one of the things, but I look for a lot of intangibles in guys. I look for guys that are not willing to easily quit. I'm looking for guys who are not as verbal as they are with actions. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, and a lot of the players that I've known that to be successful, those guys are actually showing by actions. Even if they don't have the skill, they fail and they fail and they fail time and time again until they win, until they succeed. So just to answer your question in a nutshell, what I look for in players, I look for persistence. I look for consistency, and I look for a will to reach those goals and the will to succeed.
Freaking awesome, man. And my next question kind of goes into that. And I'm so if you see me looking down, I'm sitting here just literally taking notes. And I hope other people are too. So if you see me looking down, it's because you got a lot of good shit coming out of your mouth, man. All right. So at the beginning of a season, this kind of goes back, kind of the same question. It might be a little different, but at the beginning of a season, right? Because you get a lot of these repeat people. You got Joey that comes back every year, but you also have a lot of new people. So at the beginning of the season, what traits stand out the most when you're evaluating like what you've got on your team, right? It probably takes that first couple days or week to kind of be like, all right, what do we got? Like what's here? What are those main things that you're looking for in the short term? Because over a season, you can really tell who's all talk and who's all action. But right out of the gate in the short term, what are the things that stand out to you?
So at the beginning of the season, I usually set the bar pretty high. I set the bar as high as I can take it, with being considerate of everyone. But I usually set that bar high, knowing that a lot of my new guys won't reach that bar, knowing that a lot of my returning guys, a lot of my veterans, knowing that it'll be a challenge for them to reach that bar. So I usually set the bar high, and I just see who never quits. You know, when we come in the first beginning, we don't take it light. We go full throttle right away, and I just see who's, because like I said before, it's not about the skill, it's about the intangible. Those intangible traits of being persistent, those intangible traits of being able to accept failure. I heard a wise man say, you'll never be successful until you fall in love with failure. No does not mean no. Sometimes somebody else's no can be another person's yes. So just to answer your question, what I do is I set the bar high, and I just grade every single individual on how they go about reaching that bar, not necessarily whether they reach that bar or not, but how they approach it. If they come out and they have trouble, do they quit, or do they try till they can't go anymore? Because when you talk about physical sports, it deals with the body.
Yeah.
As you know, being an Ironman athlete, being an endurance athlete yourself, the body will only do what the mind tells it to do. Um, as well as, I couldn't ask a 10-year-old to get under a bar with 315 and to bench 315.
Yeah.
But if I see that he's willing to get under that bar, irregardless of his safety, irregardless of whatever, to try, you know what I mean? That means a
Yeah.
whole lot to me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? More than him being able to do the rep, it means a whole lot to me that he's just willing to get under that bar and give it all he's got.
Yeah. I love that. And like I even told the story at the beginning, so I can vouch for you. Like right out of the gate at the beginning of the season, you turn the heat on, and I found that out right away. And that was my South Florida. I tell that story to people like, yeah, when I first moved to South Florida, I thought we were going to be kind of like playing a little bit of football. And I realized day one, like, no, we're playing football, like full on. Right? It was awesome. I love that, my mentality. So this next question, you basically answered it, but would you take talent or hard work? Which one to you is which one you picking?
I mean,
It's tough because you need both. Yeah, it's a tough. That's like a catch-22.
The thing about talent, you have natural God-given talent. Some people are given natural God-given talent, but hard work beats talent every day. I'm gonna have to take the hard work, Joe, because if you work at it, even in sales, the muscle memory will come. Muscle memory will come when you reach other obstacles. You'll have rebuttals. You'll know how far to go as far as your time is concerned. You'll understand, Joe, we just surpassed 8 billion people in the world. Okay?
Yeah.
If one person rejects you, one person tells you no, you have 7,999,999,999 other people that can give you a yes. And in order to make your dreams come true, you don't even need a fraction of that, Joe.
Yes.
So when I see hard workers, those are guys that can grow. Those are guys that can be taught. A little bit about my background. I coached high school football as well as the youth football. Just recently got into high school football. And one thing I noticed about these multi-million-dollar D1 programs, they don't look for catches. They don't look for touchdowns. They look for guys who have grades. They look for guys who have good conduct because they know with the resources in place of the institution, Ohio State, University of Miami, easy pay, with the resources in any institution. If you have a hard worker, success is inevitable.
Yeah.
You may have a guy with talent. Just a reference, one of my favorite movies, Friday Night Lights. Booby Miles had all of the talent, but once he sustained that injury, he wasn't able to come back from that. Because mentally, he relied on his talent rather than his hard work. It's a scene that sticks out in my mind where he says, they're in the weight room and he says, I don't have to live. This is God-given talent. God says, be faithful over a few things and I will give you many. So if you're not a faithful steward of the opportunity that God has given you by just maximizing your time, also takes me back to another meme that says, what if you had $84,600 in your account every day? And whether you spent it or not, they were going to take the rest of the money and give you back $84,600. When you spend it all,
Yep. Every day.
you knew you were going to get it every day. Well, we get 84,600 seconds in a day, and we don't treat that in the same manner. So that's something that stood out to me. I'll take talent. I'll take hard work over talent any day, Joe.
Yeah, man, I freaking love that. It's so true. Like I can vouch for Willie. Willie is you're always into something, man. Like he does not waste those 86,000 the amount of seconds. How many is it? I need to know this. 86,600
and 400.
86,400 seconds. I can tell you that Willie is using that time. And anyone that knows me, I'm pretty busy. I'm staying busy chasing stuff. And we talk about these kind of things and going to the buzzer. And you never know when that next deal is going to come. You might be having a long day, could be the last door. You don't waste days, you don't waste time. We've got lessons on the value of a day. And we put these lessons in the terms of money because of Easy Pay. We're here to make money, right? And the value of a day. And you can break that down to the hour, to the minute, and like you're doing, down to the second, and just don't use it, man. Sleep, we sleep when we're dead, right?
Exactly. And like I was saying, Joe, it's important to set that bar high. To schedule 20 meters in a day, a lot of people would think that's insane. But you got to know, I'm going to talk to 20 people today. I'm going to talk to 20 different potential clients today.
Yeah.
One of those, two of those yeses can change my life every day. If I get one or two yeses every day for a week consistently, and even if I have a bad week next week, those one or two yeses, they can change my life. It only takes one yes to change your life. If you get 2 out of 20, that's 10%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people can't take talking to 20 people and getting 18 no's.
Yeah.
Those two yeses, they have the ability to change your life. So just set that bar high.
Yeah. I love that. There's a book out. So it's you're just one away. Right? You're just one away. And there's different people. That book can be applicable to every living person on this earth. For each and every one of us, for us at Easy Pay, here's one deal away, what Willie is saying. Right? Willie's not in our industry, but he's giving you like some serious game right here. You're just one away, just one good yes can pay your rent, your car, your insurance, your cell phone, your bills. One good one. But if you don't put yourself in a position to win, if you're not out there owning the day, you can't find that, right? Some people call it luck. It ain't luck. It's just all that hard work and not wasting time and going out there and doing what you got to do. And there's so much good stuff here, Willie. I want to kind of transition off of, obviously the hard work, the coaching, what you look for. You got so much good stuff here. I won't even be able to go over all of it, but I want to talk about what's the big picture for you? What are you really in it for? Like, what do you really want to pass on to kids? Why is this important for you? Because you're not doing youth sports coaching, to become a millionaire. Obviously, there's a much bigger intention behind it. So what is that? What is it that you want kids to get from, being with you, whether it's one season or they end up 10 seasons with you? What do you want them to leave with? What impact do you want to make on them?
I'm just really big on individual leadership. There's a great book that I read. It's called Think Like a Warrior, and the 5 inner beliefs of successful people, unstoppable people. And the first principle, those 5 inner beliefs is only concentrate on what you can control. Your attitude and your effort. And that covers everything that you'll ever do in life. If you have an attitude that you'll win and you put forth the effort to win, you definitely will win.
Yeah.
It's proven. So if you control those things, when I'm dealing with those kids, what I want to leave with those kids is your attitude and your effort is the most important thing. It's not your background. It's not where you come from. It's not what type of day you had. When you put those pads on, or when you sign those documents and you commit to being in a business, being a part of a team, that's the real commitment. And real leadership it first comes with you being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Not being one of those guys that the coaches has to get on for loafing, not being one of those guys. And what eventually happens is you'll be able to grow to actually in some capacity help the coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know your job so well, you start to learn the job of others. You start to learn where you fit in the puzzle. You know your area so well. You do your research. You know the resources around you. You know the per capita numbers of what's going on around you, to the point where you can reach a target market or a target audience, and that much more increases your chances of winning.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you love seeing those kids that come in and kind of take that leadership role, right? That's what you're talking about, that individual leadership. That's phenomenal. So what are your future goals as far as coaching? How big of an impact do you want to see in the community, and just as far as the coaching and community, how far do you want to go with this thing? What are your goals? Like, where are you going with all of this stuff in terms of the coaching specifically and the impact you want to have?
Well, one of my biggest goals is to allow coaching to evolve in my life. As I said, I coach some high school. I now know with my high school experience over these last 3 years
Mhm.
that youth football at this point in my career is going to be more beneficial. Um, and that's one of the great things about life. You have a choice. So you got to kind of lean toward what's working for you more than what's not working for you. Um, if you know that there's any distractions in your life that's keeping you from your purpose, that's keeping you from your destiny, you have to go ahead and you have to bite the bullet and you have to kind of eliminate those things. You have to kind of move away from those things. So my goal in the future is to allow coaching to take me wherever it wants to take me and do my part as far as evolving as a coach and as a person, um, to get there, to allow coaching to not my life not to interfere with coaching, because coaching doesn't interfere with my life. Coaching enhances my life. So my goal is not to let life interfere with my coaching, which is my business.
Yeah.
I'm in the business of creating leaders. I'm in the business of encouraging young men, giving them confidence within themselves. And when you have a team of leaders, you have a great situation. You have a breeding ground for success. When everybody does their part, it makes my job that much more easier.
Yeah.
So that's just one of my main goals, to continue to create leaders and focus on the things I can control, which are my attitude and my effort. And that's been working for me.
Freaking
And
love
tap into the resources that's around me. You
it.
got to tap into the resources that are around you, whether that be the resources provided by the company, whether that be mentors. Everybody needs a mentor. You got to find your mentor, whatever industry you're dealing with. I have several mentors as far as coaching, just gained another mentor. And you got to go ahead and dig into your resources. Coming up this spring, I'll be going to a coach's clinic. I've been coaching for a little under a decade, going on my 8th year. I'll be going to a coach's clinic. Guys, you'll never know it. You'll never know everything. You'll
Yeah.
never know everything. You want to keep your mind open and you want to continue to learn. You want to continue to evolve with your environment, with your industry, whatever. Because football today is not what it was 20 years ago. It's not what it was 15 years ago when I was playing in high school. Um, the game has changed. We've been given a lot more data. We've been given a lot more information.
Yeah.
There's a lot more studies that have been done that have changed the way that we play the game. Back in the day, guys used to lead with their helmet. The crowd would go crazy. I mean, we understand how detrimental that is to the athlete,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
far as all the brain damage and the trauma to the brain is concerned. And we made necessary adjustments in the game. We understand how to take care of our players, and we still have a pretty decent game.
Oh yeah. And you guys have adapted and you pivot, and you just said something that needs to come out of my mouth. You said, I just gained another mentor. Like I love that. That needs to come out of my mouth. I hope that comes out of everyone's mouth. There's talk about a 2023 goal for every single person on this call, starting with this guy right here. We should all at some point in the next month saying, I just gained another mentor. The way that you said that, like I just got another asset in my life, because it is, right. You never know everything. should always be constantly trying to gain new knowledge, plugging in. I just gained a new mentor, man. I absolutely love that. This quote that you said, that you got from someone, you'll never be successful until you fall in love with failure. That one's really huge. So obviously we're about winning. We want to win championships. Like, who doesn't love to freaking win? We just had the World Cup, and the look on their faces, I win in the Super Bowl, like the look on their faces, everyone wants to win, but what do you get out of losing? Like, how, let's make this the positives of losing. Like, how do you feel about losing? Like, when you look back at it, what are the positives that you pull out of it? Going back to that, you'll never be successful till you fall in love with failure. It's part of the equation, right? If Tom Brady constantly tried to avoid throwing interceptions and just ran the ball every play, he wouldn't be great. You can't avoid the failure. So talk about that. Like, how do you feel about failing on the positive side of it?
As you know, because you know me personally, I lost the Super Bowl this year. I lost to a team that I beat for 7 straight years. I lost the Super Bowl by 1 point, 13-14. Everything
Hard.
that could go wrong went wrong. Even things that were outside of my control. And I look back and I played it 1,000 times in my mind of what I could have done differently to get that 1 point, to get that extra yard. And what you learn most from failure, you learn that is not the end of the world. You learn that every successful person has been through failure. In the same book, Think Like a Warrior, it's by Darren Donnelly. He talks to just a quick backstory. It's about a coach. Things not going right, and every time that he needs it, he tends to have these dreams where he's talking to these greats. Bear Bryant, John Wooden, Vince Lombardi, the coach from the USA team that beat Russia in the 80s,
The hockey team?
the hockey team.
Yeah.
And John Wooden says nobody talks about that first year I had that was horrible. Nobody talks about the hundreds of losses that I suffered in my career. Um, and I don't talk about them. I didn't dwell on them. I took all the data, all the information that I gathered from why we lost, whether it was calling the wrong play, whether it was having the wrong person in the wrong position. Um, I studied that person and I looked for signs. I looked for data that showed me that I wasn't paying attention to because maybe I was emotionally invested, or maybe I was just, doing what was easy for me at the time. And the signs that I ignored that would give me that end result. So in a nutshell, when you lose, you get an opportunity to be grateful. You get an opportunity to understand where you stand in the grand scheme of things. And it also, like I said, it also brings back to your remembrance that you can't control everything.
Yes.
So the fact that you know now that you can't control everything is more beneficial to focus on the things that you can control. Your attitude concerning what you're doing. Do you believe in what you're doing? If you don't believe in what you're doing, don't do it. I
Yeah.
tell the kids all the time, I tell the kids, one of the hardest things to get young kids to understand is the concept of pain. Nobody wants to feel pain, but everybody wants to be a champion. Right now, sit any champion down, sit any championship coach down, and definitely players. Any champion player, ask them have they played through pain. Ask any championship coach, has he played through personal issues going on at home, going on in his life? They'll 100% all tell you yes.
Yeah.
You have to find a healthy relationship with the pain of hearing no. Once you find that healthy relationship, you'll immediately have a healthy response, whether that be a rebuttal, whether that be using the resources around you as far as numbers, data analysis to persuade that person that you're dealing with that it's in their best interest to take some sort of action.
Love
So
it, man.
losing puts you in a whole different perspective than winning. I think a lot of times when you win, which is in my case, you take winning for granted. And the day that you take winning for granted, you're gonna have some hard lessons.
Oh yeah.
I've never lost a game, Joey. I use the loss, in common sense as far as but I've never lost a game. Every L that I've taken, Joey, has been a learning experience.
Exactly.
It's funny I said loss because with the kids we don't use the LOSS. We use L, and it's a learning experience. And I haven't had many learning experiences, and I'm looking forward to more learning experiences in the future, Joey.
Yeah, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, baby. Love it.
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta get you out here. Like you can go sell with us, man. You got some good stuff here. You got the mental strength to go through it. Obviously, I'm exaggerating here, but dude, everyone on here and the people that'll end up watching this is just so much good information. And this is what this is about, right? This is mindset championship. Doesn't matter the industry, doesn't matter where in the world somebody is. The winning.
None of that
Thinks a
matters.
certain way. It thinks a certain way. It talks a certain way. It's I'll finish off with all of that stuff. But man, I'm just loving all the good stuff that comes out. That's the losing side, right? That's the positive. How do you feel about winning? Right? We do what we do to win. Like, what is that about? Like, how do you feel about winning?
Joey, I always said winning is not an occasion; it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. They're different facets of life. We're multifaceted. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. At the end of the day, I get to go home to a beautiful family. At the end of the day, I have great friends like yourself, amongst other people. So I've done something right in life. And no matter what happens on or off the field, there's refuge. There's refuge in the people I love. There's refuge in the actions and the service that I put out into my community, that I put out into my family, that I put out into my peer group. So I'm constantly winning. We spent significant amount of time together, and it's always a blessing to be in somebody's presence like yourself. It's a blessing to have a beautiful family, a wife and two sons, 14 and 11. So I look at them, I look at people like you, and I look at all of the love, the support, even my high school kids. God has given me the ability to just build healthy relationships.
Yeah.
And I look at that ability, and that far outweighs my bank account, that far outweighs the scoreboard. But at the end of the day, like you said, we got to concentrate those abilities. We have to concentrate those abilities. And just like I said, the scoreboard is not a benchmark. The numbers as far as money, if you find what you're meant to do, the money will come. If you pursue what you're meant to do, the money will come. So the numbers themselves doesn't matter. You have to look at the tangible evidence around you, the things that God has placed in your life, and winners just win. Winners just win.
I love it, man. Winning isn't everything. It's just what we do.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, man. I love it. You
You
got to
work-
have the losses. Got to have a good attitude about it. You just spoke so much knowledge on it. We won't go back to it, but at the end of the day, winners win.
If you work, you'll win, Joey. If you work, you'll win. And
I love it.
Work tirelessly.
With a game plan. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, man. That's how you win, man. Love it. Last question for you. It's how we end every single one of these calls, whether it's someone in our industry, somebody outside our industry like you. There's a lot of people that end up watching the recording, a lot of people all over the United States on here right now. If you had one piece of advice to everyone that's listening, that wants to just win that winning life, what would that piece of advice be?
Uh, to answer your question, I'm gonna go ahead and provide a backstory. Um, I'm 5'6", 5'6". Um, wasn't never recruited by a D1 school. Had some offers by a D1, by a D2 school, and by the time I kind of got ready to sign with that school, I sent my transcripts over, and they were saying, with this GPA, we can't necessarily offer you an athletic scholarship, but we can give you some partial stuff, and you come on this and you come on that. And I said all that to say this: I didn't understand how important my time was. I have a saying that I say to the kids, and I say, I turned 18, I graduated high school. I said I still got time. I became 21, the age where I was able to drink and party. So I drank and I partied. I said I still got time. I became 25, the benchmark of true adulthood. At this time, you're supposed to be out of college. You're supposed to be starting a family. You're supposed to be the box that people put you in. You're supposed to be able to start a career. I said, well, now this is the start. I still got time. Turned 30, and I said, wow, where did the time go? So the advice that I give to everyone is just win the day. Just take advantage of the day. Um, Tomorrow's gone. Yesterday, with the help of whomever you believe in, tomorrow will come. Tomorrow will definitely come. Yesterday's gone. So tomorrow will take care of itself. What are you doing today to ensure your tomorrow? You have people that have made decisions that unfortunately have cost them their tomorrows. So what decisions are you making today? There's a lot of things that are outside of our control, but 99% of the things that will happen to you are within your realm of control. It's in your realm of choice. So my advice with people is, what is it that you're doing today to not let today be a waste? Do not waste the day. Do not waste the day. I don't care if it's learning another small piece of information. I don't care if it's doing market research. I don't care what it is that has to correlates with what it is that you're doing, your priority in life that you're setting goals to accomplish. Do not waste the day. Do not waste any time. And that's my main, I tell 10-year-olds every day, you're not too old, you're not too young to think about what you're going to do the rest of your life. The quicker you figure out what it is that you want to do, the better off you be. Don't waste any time, Joe.
Love it, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to be on here again. I know how busy you've been. We didn't even share all that, but for you to take the time and be on here, share that knowledge, impact people's lives in terms of business, just personal life. I know I'm going to be getting emails on this one big time. I've got so much on here. I normally kind of recap a couple of talking points. I'm going to turn off your camera, man. Much respect, much appreciate your time. I'm going to kind of recap, and much love, my brother.
Thank you, Joey. I'm going to stay in on the rest of the call. I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just going to hit your camera here and then you're on.
No problem.
All right, cool. All right, guys. So that's Coach Dubb there. Let me hit the mute button, do all of that. Man, I don't know if you're taking notes at home, but there was so much stuff on there. And, I've always enjoyed, and I mean, if you ever wonder why, entrepreneurs and at least the most of the entrepreneurs I know and successful business partners love sports, that was it right there, right? It's like at the end of a game when a team wins or loses and they put the camera in somebody's face and you get to hear kind of the mindset at the end of the game. That's my favorite part of games. And we just got 40 minutes of it with Coach Dubb, just amazing stuff inside the mind of coaching. And he keeps winning. He keeps getting us to the Super Bowl, and stuff like that doesn't happen by accident. And you can see why, right? So, he's like the CEO, he's the head coach, so like the CEO of the team. You're the CEO in your life. What's going on in your head? What's your self-talk? Does it mirror this kind of stuff? If it does, you're probably going to go places in your life, right? Can you handle the losing? not only handle the losing, just know that it's part of the recipe of success. But are you playing to win, right? That's the lifestyle. Notice how winners win, consistently. There's a reason for that. They take the losses, but they consistently win if you look at the big picture of it. So let's kind of go back over a couple of these things here. Okay. What's the most important? People that do not easily quit, less verbal, more action, right? Talk is cheap. Some people on this call, I'm seeing a couple names. I've had this conversation. Like, there's a lot of people that come into the business and they're all excited. And obviously we want people excited when they get into the business. But there's a reason why my program is set up for you to just get started, for you to just get out there, right? So the people that come in and are excited and just get out there and get started and get out there and put in the work and don't question and don't bitch and don't complain. Like Coach Dubb said, they're willing to get under the bench, just put some trust in their coach and get in the game, whether they can lift it or not. Those people typically are the ones that succeed, where the ones that question everything or have this game plan on, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and it's going to take me a week to get ready, right? Those are the people that are talking, and they typically lose their excitement in the business. But the ones that just get right in and take action, they learn as they go. Okay, so less verbal, more action. My line that I love to use is talk is cheap, right? When people are telling me all these things they're going to do and their big old game plan, I encourage it. I'm glad you're excited, but talk is cheap. Go fricking do it and let me know how it goes and if you need help. Okay, talk is cheap. Fail time and time again till you succeed. The quote right here, I love this. I could put this on my wall. You'll never be successful until you fall in love with failure. Okay, I have been rejected so many thousands of times. I've got thousands of merchant accounts. Okay, do you know how much rejection it takes to get thousands of merchant accounts? It's part of it. Brett Favre, I don't know if he still holds the record for the most touchdowns thrown, but a lesson that I used to always run was, Brett Favre has the most touchdowns thrown. But what most people don't talk about is he also holds the record for the most interceptions thrown. Okay, failure is part of the recipe of success. And I'm going to skip down here. Having a healthy relationship with hearing no. I kind of want to tie that into this, right? Failure is part of the recipe. And Willie, I appreciate you even relating this to our business, even though you're not in it, right? You said learn to have a healthy relationship with hearing no, right? And that comes back to you won't be successful till you fall in love with failure, right? Like the more no's you're getting, you're literally getting closer to a successful business, right? Nobody wants to walk in the door. You need to walk in the door expecting to be successful. You're going to walk into every door expecting to make the sale. You're going to try to attract what you want, focus on what you want, which is winning, right? Be prepared to win. But when the no comes, have a healthy relationship with that, and then you move on to the next one. I also love the analogy of there's 8 billion people in the world, right? You just need one yes to change your life. So much good stuff here. You learn failure is not the end of the world, right? We all wake up, we're jacked up, we want to take on the day, and some days we win bigger than we planned on. Some days we hit the goals that we planned on, and some days we come home and we didn't necessarily get, the level of success that we wanted to. But you know what? You come home, you've got what you've got at home. There's so many things, whether you have a family or not, you all have a roof over your head. We have all these things to be grateful for, and you can go to sleep and you wake up the next day. You're blessed as all can be. We live in a great country where you're in a great situation, and failure is not the end of the world. You wake up tomorrow and you get an opportunity to go do it again. When you lose, it's an opportunity to be grateful, kind of like what I'm talking about right now. We have way more to be grateful for than just focusing in on what we didn't get accomplished. So really, really good stuff there. And then win the day, right? So he talks about winning the day a lot with the kids. And, I think that as we grow up, as we become adults, and we go from little kids that are excited about Christmas and listen to our coach, and, we do the things that our parents say because you have to listen to what your parents say. And then we grow up and we get independent and we start kind of thinking that we know better, and we go off and we make everything so damn complicated, right? But it's not. Sometimes as adults, we need to go back to keeping things very, very simple. Go back to being a kid and don't make everything so freaking complicated and hard. And I'm going to end it with this. What I mean by that is do the small things right. The little things that need to be done. Okay, if you take care of the small things, the big things take care of themselves. But when you make the small things all complicated and try to plan it and like, oh, I need this, and like include, stuff that's not necessary and make it complicated, then you mess up the small things. And when you mess up the small things, you definitely mess up the big things. So just keep things simple. We're talking to Coach Dubb here, who has mastered working with young kids and turning young kids into young men and into leaders. And he does that by teaching them the small things and taking care of the small things. And he calls it winning the day. Okay. We all need to get out there and win the day. And we do that with the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And at Easy Pay, we're here to make money. I'm here to teach you how to sign merchant accounts and build a business that's yours, that pays you lifetime residual income, right? That's the financial side of Easy Pay. But with Easy Pay, we're going well above and beyond that. We're a lifestyle company. We're a mindset company, okay? Mind, body, financial. Okay, the proper preparation prevents poor performance. For your mind is the books that you read. It's the content that you're inputting. It's the people that you associate with. It's the content that's popping up on your device. And it's your circle of influence. Okay, these are the things that are going to help you be properly prepared when it comes to your mind. And this is what Easy Pay is about. I want to help you elevate in your mind. I also want to help you elevate in your body. Obviously, body is fitness. People think about fitness. Right now, we've got a December challenge going, 100 push-ups a day. Y'all know I do Spartan races and ultra runs and stuff like that. And I'm going to be inviting a lot of the company out to Spartan races and doing cool stuff. But the other side of taking care of the body is the nutrients. It's what you're eating. Okay. It's getting into something. It's fasting. It's, keto. There's a million different things. I'm not going to get into all that. Right. But if we're properly prepared in our mind, if we're properly preparing our body, the ultimate reason why you're here and my ultimate goal is to help you take care of the finances. And I know for a fact, and the reason why I'm building Easy Pay the way that I am and attracting the people that want to have a stronger mind and a stronger body is because if you take care of those 2 things, like Coach Dubb said, if you put in the work, you're going to win. And if you put in the work and take care of your mind and your body, your odds of being successful here and making that money are significantly higher. So folks, take that for how you will. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Everybody go and enjoy your family. I appreciate you jumping in here. The last testimonial call before Christmas. Go and enjoy your family. Count your many blessings. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Every day, folks, go do something that's hard and win the day. Thanks for your time. God bless you. See you at the top.